Hi again. Okay, welcome to part 3 of deciphering the hieroglyphs that were discovered back in 2011 behind the 7 centimetre thick block plug door, 63 metres up the southern Queen's Chamber, so-called air shaft known as Gantenbrink's door. This was one of 2 doors discovered. Another matching one also found by the iRObot 2 robot in, I believe, 1992, in the matching shaft running up equidistantly on the northern side of the Queen's Chamber. That door has not been entered though. Unlike the southern door, which was drilled and a telescopic camera sent in, where another plug some 8 inches behind the first door was discovered, this one minus the copper handles. The most interesting find, however, were the hieroglyphs, painted in red ochre as used by work gangs and for quarry marks. Despite this breakthrough, the hieroglyphs seem to have been popularly deemed as nothing more than markings, almost as if to say they're meaningless. The only attempt to translate their meaning was by Luca Miatello, an independent researcher who, as I showed in a previous video, said they were engineering numbers representing 121 cubits, the length, apparently, of the air shaft. The figures bear, to my eyes, little if not any resemblance to hieratic numbers or hieroglyph numbers, as I previously demonstrated. As an independent researcher myself, and given the great potential these glyphs have to not only explaining the purpose of the shafts, but possibly the entire Great Pyramid structure, I have taken it upon myself to study them very closely and learn as much as I can about the writing of this period. In this time, I firstly thought they could be read downwards as a column, which was a theory, but didn't completely add up. Now, let me just say that in my quest to identify what these 3 glyphs are, I have only visually tried to match the lines and markings present in the pictures of the Gantenbrink glyphs to hieroglyphs listed in references such as the Gardner list, of which there are hundreds. I have in no way tried to find meanings and then attach them to fit a previously conceived dialogue. In the last video, I believe, I cracked the first 2, read right to left, as ak, to enter in, and teb, to provide with, which also could be het, which is white, shining, light. But the third one, on this orientation, I was struggling with up until today, when I believe I made a breakthrough. After painstakingly analysing this glyph, I have been finally able to isolate its components enough to make sense of them. When I realised they represented a person, either seated or kneeling, most probably seated I'd say, holding something, I will break them down for you so you can follow. Here is the head, the arm, the body, the legs, the chair, and the object they are holding, which I believe matches a flail. This is the only configuration I can find that matches any hieroglyphs of the hundreds, if not thousands, I have made comparison to. And not only that, it also faces in the correct direction to match the rest of the phrase, with the horned viper and the teb or het glyph. Structurally, as verbs always precede the subject in hieroglyphs, the character it matches is shpsi, something like that, excuse my ancient Egyptian pronunciation, which means noble, determinative and idiomatic, meaning it determines the context of the preceding words, and if it is in a kneeling posture, it shows a deceased person, but It looks more to be like a seated person here. So overall, the meaning, as best I can gather, is to enter in, to provide with a noble. I haven't had any time to analyse the meaning any further. I wanted to share my findings as soon as possible. There are other glyphs within this space that have yet to be looked at, but I think the deciphering of these three is the best and most probably accurate out there. Given it is a passage and a door, to enter in really makes sense. I believe the Teb hieroglyph can also mean adorn, and het, light, also fits, and noble fits in as well, as we are not dealing with a common person here, but most likely Khufu, and but it could also mean noble light, or light of a noble, so to enter in a noble light, or enter in the light of a noble. I believe these hieroglyphs are very strong evidence these shafts are linked with the heavens and the afterlife. Or maybe, were those copper handles actually to connect an electrical light too? That's a fascinating theory. And I will follow up with more on the meanings of this discovery over the course of the next few video installments. What do you think of the meanings and the translation? Please share in comments. Thank you for watching. Bye.